Hi guys, YGOSmurf here, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can make a Dark Paladin / Dark Magician deck out of 3 Structure Deck Yugi Moto. Videos by YGOSmurf. Be creative. In this video, I'm going to be going over what's in the box of the Structure Deck Yugi Moto. I'm going to go over what Konami's recommendations are for the deck strategy and deck upgrades. Thirdly, I'm going to be talking about how to combine all 3 of these decks into a deck focused on Dark Magician / Dark Paladin, and then finally I'm going to give you some upgrade cards to add to that deck to make it more powerful. Alright, so let's open this bad boy up. Technically I've already opened this one, but essentially it's exactly the same as what you're gonna see. So like the back of the box said, in this you get a beginner's guide, a playmat / how to amp this deck up, and the 45 card deck itself. Let's go ahead and see a close-up of the cards. In his final duel, Yugi faced off against the Pharaoh. His only chance to defeat the Egyptian god cards was with his brand new Magnet Warrior deck. This structure deck collects all of Yugi's original Magnet Warriors and adds the brand new Electromagnet Warrior monsters, plus new spell and trap cards, and a new Mega Monster to assemble from your Magnetic Marvels. Magnet Warriors return. The breakdown of the deck is 23 monsters, 11 spells, 6 traps, and 5 fusion monsters. Unfortunately, the flowchart of moves that comes on the reverse side of the playmat only really mentions the tips for the Magnet Warrior strategy. Seeing as this video is about making a Dark Paladin or a Dark Magician deck from the Structure Deck Yugi Motos, these are relevant for this video. If you are interested in the Magnet Warrior strategy, check out my video on them. There's a bit of tips on Dark Paladin and Dark Magic Inheritance, but nothing that really needs to be explained more. Moving on to the recommendations. The Duelist Pack Rivals of the Pharaoh suggestion only aid with the Magnet stratagem. The same thing is true for the suggestion from the Dark Illusion. However, the cards from Shining Victories, Drowning Mirror Force, and Luna Light Black Sheep are staples. Drowning Mirror Force is a generic attack trap that sends cards back to your opponent's deck, while Luna Light Black Sheep helps out with searching polymerization, but there are better, more flexible cards available for each of these. Both of these cards are situational at best and probably not worth the trouble to try and track down. Lastly, the cards from Dragons of Legend Unleashed. The Eye of Timaeus is best utilized with either of the fusions he can summon, Amulet Dragon or Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight. These are good cards, but there's 2 things you have to keep in mind. 1, you'll have to play with Dark Magician Girl in your deck. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it can change the way you build your deck and the overall tempo of it. Secondly, the better 2 cards cost at least $6, and you'll want to run multiple copies. This adds up quickly for something that isn't extremely useful, especially when you consider what you're spending for the core of the deck, which is the 3 structure decks, at around $30. Alright, so let's get into the deck list of the combination of the 3 Structure Deck Yugi Moto. Starting off with the deck list, we have 3 Dark Magicians, 2 Giant Soldier of Stones, 1 Buster Blader, 2 Dark Magician Girls, 3 Skilled Dark Magicians, 3 Skilled White Magicians, 2 Twin-Headed Behemoth, 2 Kuribo, 2 Kuriborn, 1 Dark Magic Attack, 1 Polymerization, 3 Mystic Box, 1 Swords of Revealing Light, 3 Dark Magic Curtains, 3 Dark Magic Succession, 2 Spell Shattering Arrow, 2 Swords of Concealing Light, 3 Magician Circle, 1 Mirror Force. Moving on to the extra deck, we have 1 Buster Blader the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, and 1 Dark Paladin. That was the combination of the 3 Structure Deck Yugi Motos. I feel like I need to give some explanation of why we're running the Kuribos and the Giant Soldier of Stone and even the Twin-Headed Behemoth. There's not a lot of cards that are actually directly dedicated to Dark Magician or Dark Paladin in this deck. There's really only Dark Magician, Skilled Dark Magician, Dark Magician Girl in terms of monsters. But they did throw in some classic Yugi monsters as kind of support. So I needed to use them in this deck because I didn't want to just throw in Magnet Warriors for their scarce effects. And I intend for you and a friend to possibly buy 3 of these structure decks, and then you each could potentially make your own deck from it using just the contents of the 3 structure decks. The twin-headed Behemoth is in there so that we can still run the Buster Blader fusion monster that is just ginormous. The Karibos are good hand trap effects that can save you, don't underestimate those, and the Kariborns could even set you up to tribute summon a Buster Blader or a Dark Magician. Okay, so moving on to the upgraded deck, our cards you want to look into to upgrade this deck. First off, you're going to want to look into Emblem of the Dragon Destroyer. This card is going to let you search from your deck or graveyard for a Buster Blader and add it to your hand. This is important because it allows you to search for the key component you need to summon Dark Paladin. In addition, it also can thin your deck. I would run this card at 3, and with that, I would remove the Stone Soldiers and bump up Buster Blader to 3 copies to accent this Searcher card. Secondly, the card that you're going to want to look into is King of the Swamp. King of the Swamp can be a fusion substitute for any singular, specifically named fusion material monster. And the second part of the King of the Swamp is that you can discard it from your hand to search for a polymerization. So it is any single piece of 3 that you need to summon Dark Paladin, which makes it super useful and super awesome for this fusion deck and any other fusion deck. Thirdly, you want to look into a card called Summoner's Art. This card will allow you to search for your Dark Magicians, but only from your deck. It's not as good as the Buster Blader Searcher, but it is still necessary and important. I would replace one of your Dark Magic Curtains with one of these. Because Dark Magic Curtain has such a really high cost to it, and losing half your life points and not being able to summon other monsters that turn, you don't always want that. Sometimes you just want to add Dark Magician to your hand and summon a Dark Paladin to wreck some face. Finally, the last card, the 4th card that I want you to look into is Sacred Sword of 7 Stars. This is a draw power card that allows you to banish a level 7 monster in your hand or on your field and then draw 2 cards. This card pairs off really well with either Summoner's Art or Emblem of the Dragon Destroyer. It allows you to thin your deck with the Searcher card. Then, if you don't have anything to use that level 7 monster with, you can immediately ditch it with the Sword of the 7 Stars, drawing you 2 new cards and thinning your deck even lower. If you have a dead level 7 in your hand that you can't tribute summon and that you don't have a polymerization to use with, use the Sword of 7 Stars to draw 2 more cards that could potentially be beneficial. There's no point on hanging on to a card that you for sure know you can't use this turn if you could get 2 new cards. Okay, so I know I said I was only going to do 4 things, but you can't do a Dark Magician video without hinting at some of the things that you could do if you had the money to spare. So there are cards like Magician of Dark Illusion, Dark Magic Circles, Magician Navigation, and a whole slew of rank 7 Xyzs that if you had the money you could buy and really ramp up a Dark Magician specific deck. You wouldn't even need the Buster Bladers, you wouldn't be playing Dark Paladin, it would literally just be a Dark Magician or rank 7 spam, slap people in the face with a giant staff deck. If you would like to have the deck list for any of these decks, that includes the Structure Deck, the combination of 3 Structure Decks, the upgraded combination of 3 Structure Decks, or even the super expensive Dark Magician only deck to play on your favorite dual simulator that uses .ydk files, you can go ahead and check out the Gumroad link and purchase the specific YDK files that I created and PDF deck list in Konami sanctioned form of those decks by clicking that link and checking it out. I'd really appreciate it. It's one way to support the channel and myself. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know down in the comments what you would have done differently when combining these 3 decks. Share this video with your friends so they know what you're talking about. Subscribe to me if you deem me worthy. Have a wonderful day. See ya.